Shalom, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. This is Ratazah from the GMS Atlanta camp with another video. All right, I just want to hit the topic of the chariots of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. You know, which the ones of you out there that may not be in the loop, the so-called UFOs, you know, what you would the masses of the world would deem UFOs or flying saucers and so forth. These are basically the vehicles that the angels travel in, man. You know, in the scriptures, they're known as clouds. You know, they're known as the chariots, as well as different other metaphors. And they're coming not only to destroy America and to destroy parts of the world, but also to redeem and save the elected nation of Israel from the hands of the enemies, which the Israelites are your so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American, and Seminole Indians. You know, and every day there's more and more UFO or chariot sightings popping up because the Most High is about to visit this world, man, and judge this world. Okay, the angels are basically coming down to the earth, and they're making, or they're gathering intel, or they're getting a report, and they're bringing it back to the Most High. That's why the scriptures say in Amos, the 9th chapter, the 8th verse, that the eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom, because the eyes represent those chariots. Okay, that's how the Most High sees everything. It's through his angels doing his bidding. All right, as a matter of fact, I'm going to go to that, but actually first let me read the headline of this article, all right, from Fox News. It says, Japan will draw up plans for potential UFO encounters, report says. You see, so these different nations, they're preparing or they're planning to, you know, basically go head up with these so-called UFOs or the chariots of the Most High. But according to prophecy, they're going to lose in the worst way, man. You know, they're going to lose in the worst way. Now, let's open up with that real quick. Matt, actually, I'll just read this. It's Isaiah 31:5. It says, as birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. And the birds, where it says as birds flying, that's a metaphor for the so-called UFOs, okay? Because that's how they come. They come in that V formation. As you see birds flying in the sky, that's how the chariots come, okay? They come in that structured formation. And it says what? That the Lord is going to defend Jerusalem, which Jerusalem represents the Israelites. And it says defending also, he will deliver it. And passing over, he will preserve it. You see? So not only is the Lord going to do battle and destroy our enemies, which is these heathen nations, but he's going to deliver a remnant of them through these same vehicles. All right? And let's get the next scripture. This is 2nd Ezra in the Apocrypha, chapter 6, beginning at verse 18. And it says, and it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth. Okay, so when the Most High, when Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai visits the earth, he visits the earth via judgment. Okay, when you go into that word visit, it means to judge, man. Okay, so when the Most High says he's going to visit the earth, just know it ain't going to be nothing pretty and nice, man. You know, you see these different natural disasters or these world catastrophes taking place. All right, that's an example of the Most High visiting the earth through judgment. Okay, verse 19. Here's the point. It says, and will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled. When you go into that word inquisition, it means to investigate or to question. So the earth is under intense questioning or intense investigation. All right. And how's that happening? That's why you see all these UFO sightings. You know, it's the most has ever been ever in the world, man, in the world's history. All of these different UFO sites. Why? Because the angels are making an inquisition of what the hell's going on the earth, you know, and they're bringing those reports back to the Most High. You know, especially the so-called white man. All right, Esau Edom. He's under intense investigation. All right, all right. The Esau Edom is basically he's under the microscope, man. All right, and the Most High is about to bring judgment down. The angels are giving back those reports about all the wickedness and the filth and debauchery, okay, that's taking place on the earth, and that's coming back to the ears of the Most High. All right, verse 20, it says, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away, which is speaking of this rulership, because the scripture said the earth abideth forever. So when it says the world that shall begin to vanish away is referring to the rulership. Okay, the whole thing that you see currently with America, the so-called white man being in power, all that's about to be done away with, man. It says, shall be finished. Then will I show these tokens. The books shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall all see together. All right? Yeah, we're in that time now. All right, we're in a time of Esau's rulership vanishing away, and all the understanding is becoming clear to us, man. But it all starts with what? This man being under the microscope, all the wickedness and evil that's going on, man. And that's why you see these different chariot sightings or these so-called UFO sightings, man. All right? Let's go from there to the book of Haggai, chapter 2 and verse 22. Because you're going to have these nations that's going to basically prepare their military, prepare their air force, the space force, or what have you, to go against the chariots of the Most High. But as the scriptures prophesied, man, it's going to be a cakewalk for the chariots, man, because the chariots of the Most High, they spiritual. You know, you had the footage that came out, what was that, last year, maybe 2 years ago, the Iranian military shooting at the chariots, and the chariots were just, you know, they was getting down. They was flying, you know, doing backflips, flying in circles. It looked like the bullets was just bouncing off of them, man. You know, so the chariots are spiritual. And your carnal instruments, your fighter jets, your drones and whatnot, man, that's that's low level compared to Yahweh Shem Yahushua's technology. All right, this is Haggai 2, verse 22. It says, and I will overthrow the throne of kingdoms, and I will destroy the strength of the kingdoms of the heathen. All right, which the heathens are the nations outside of the nation of Israel. Okay, and the Most High brought them down, destroyed them in the past, and he's about to do that again, all right, in present time. It says, and I will overthrow the chariots and those that ride in them. You see, so these nations, they have their chariots, they have their carnal vehicles, which again would be these fighter jets, these drones, you know, their rocket ships, and, you know, the vehicles that their Space Force use, these different things. The Most High said he's going to overthrow all of that, man. It says, and those that ride in them. All right, these pilots. It says, and the horses and their riders shall come down, every one by the sword of his brother. You see, so the Most High is going to destroy these nations and their military. So Japan could they can gather intel and try to prepare for the as they say, a so-called UFO encounter, but it ain't gonna work. All right, it's not gonna work, man. Let's end off on this one. This is I think it's Revelations 12. Excuse me, Revelations 12 and 7. All right, and this is a future prophecy. All right, that's getting ready to take place when it's all said and done. It says, and there was war in heaven, meaning what? In the firmament, up high in the sky, you know, because that's where Yahweh Shai and the rest of the angels, including Michael, are going to come. They're going to basically come from outer space, man. Okay, and that's why Trump has set up the Space Force. He ain't do that to worry about Russia and all that. He did that so he could worry about Yahweh Shai and this as they would call so-called UFO invasion. And it says there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, which is Esau and his military. You know, this new modernized Roman system. It says, and the dragon fought in his angels. You know, so Michael and his angels, Yahweh Shai, and Esau. You know, Esau has his angels, man, which would be what his military. It says in verse 8, and prevailed not. You see that? And prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. You see that? So what? Esau, his military, Space Force, Air Force, what have you, so forth. They got they're about to get destroyed in the worst way, man. All right, verse 9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. You know, so this is a future prophecy of basically, you know, basically the carnal against the spiritual. All right, you got the Most High's military. That's why the Lord is one of his titles is the Lord of Hosts, or the Lord of the armies. And then you got the so-called white man with his military, his army, and they're gonna get trampled, man, by Michael, the archangel, and the rest of the angels of the heaven, traveling in what? Those so-called UFOs, man. All right. And after it's all said and done, that's when the nation of Israel ultimately is going to get salvation, starting with the elect, the remnant. It says that in the 10th verse. It says, "And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his anointed. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night, which that accuser of our brethren is Esau." All right. So this is all coming up to that, man. So you could plan, you could, investigate, do all these different things. This ain't going to work because you're not going to offset the prophecy. All right. So, I just wanted to do this quick lesson on this article. I didn't get a chance to go into it. I just wanted to use really the headline to bring it out. But Lord willing, this was edifying, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakah Gwadash. Lord willing, to the next lesson. Shalom.